Yo, yo. What's going on, gang? Let me turn this mellow stuff down, man. It's not exactly your Are You Scared Yet kind of soundtrack. The first track was actually quite good, actually. That's why I sat here just listening to it. It was kind of fire. So what's going on, gang? How are we this evening? Bitcoin taking us for a fool, huh? Very interesting behavior by Bitcoin. What's going on, guys? Yo, yo. It's all good. Can you please tell me, is the music loud enough? Do we have traction on the music? The tracks are fire. My guy Ed Poster on Instagram, he's just he's a production genius. Fantastic music, man. Go reach out to him. Instagram, Ed Poster, ED Poster. Guy's brilliant. The quality is blurry. You may need to change your settings on your phone. If you're watching it on your phone, change it to 1080p. Been sound watching, not been confident to jump in. G-Unit. That's not a problem, bro. We'll put that to bed tonight, my friend. We'll sort something out. We'll discuss that topic for anybody new that's in the stream. Okay? Okay, then. I think it's time. I think it's actually now time. We all need to have a conversation about Bitcoin and what's been going on with cryptocurrency across the board. System hack was good. My guy. Crazy. Here we go. Let's flip the screens. Let's have a conversation. All right, then. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, what is Bitcoin doing? Oh, we know exactly what it's doing. Okay. Because if we look at the bigger picture of what's been happening with Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame, just for perspective, okay, look left. She's only come back to the previous area where she last took a bounce. At what point have the market makers induced the idea of fear? Okay, at what point has the market made the retail trader who was long up here change his mind and go short? At what point did he make the guys who went short here change their mind and go long here? Because every peak that you see and every drop in price, there is previous liquidity that is being taken to effectively initiate positions to the downside here. Okay? This is what we need to try and understand. For every move up and every move down, there has to be liquidity available for the market maker to fulfill or take. All right? So let's look at it like this. Look at this. Let me jump to the 1-hour time frame so you can see a few vector candles. Here we go. 1-hour time frame, 1 hour, 1 hour. Let's have a conversation about this. Okay, cool. So I'm going to get to the real-time price shortly, because right now she ain't doing nothing. What we need to understand is the market repeats itself. We just don't know when. Human behavior repeats itself, but we just don't know when. And this is what people need to try and get into their minds. You can't predict where it's going to go. All you've got is what they're doing right now. The novelty of uncertainty needs to be installed in your minds, because with uncertainty, you will start seeing things with probabilities in mind. As I was saying to you in last night's stream, you can't be scared of something that you're not aware of. Our brains are programmed to believe that we need to be fearing something if we don't have any safety or any guarantees about anything. Why is that the case? Why do we need to be fearful of something that we don't know what's going to happen? All right. So, consider the following. No notification on Discord. Are you serious? It should come up. It should come up. Let me run that a second. Let me sort that out. It should come up, actually. New content. Yeah. It has come up. No. When was that? 11:57 a.m. No, it hasn't done it. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do it now. If Discord wants to be funny with me, I got Discord banning me as well. What a funny story. What a funny story. Okay then. Here we go. Alright, so that is going to get pumped out to everyone on Discord. Forgive me if your notifications are flaring up right now. Let's go. Let's have a conversation. Alright then. Back to the basis. Nah, it's not from Boomer, bro. We are Super Boomer to the Boomer. Remember the title. The Boomer. Alright, and cool, listen. So, trying to understand the idea behind accepting uncertainty is probably the only thing that most new traders need to get involved with first. Because if I had my time again, I would be focusing solely on accepting that I have no control of what's going to happen next. Because we start putting out this self-fulfilling prophecy that just because we've opened a trading account, just because we've spent a couple of hours working out whether we should enter at one point or the next, and just because we have great intentions to do well at our trading, the market is going to naturally correspond with our good intentions. Far from it. You are nothing to the market until you put the exposure down, because then your money is going to be used to fulfill an order from the market maker. We're only as good, we're only good when we're in the market. That's when the market maker does have a bit of consideration for us, because he needs our liquidity to get his liquidity matched to match the order that you're setting up. Remember, he does the opposite. Okay? The market maker will match your buy order with a sell order from his side. Because when you close your buy order at a loss, what do you do with it? You sell it. And what does the market maker do? He buys it back straight away. Okay? So the contracts themselves, they offset each other. So looking at this big green vector candle here, all right? With what we were talking about, the market maker pushes price higher to get his shorts filled at the highest point. Okay? The reason he was able to push price higher is because he gave the retail trader the belief that there was support at the 50 EMA. Because you need to consider this. Bitcoin was dropping beforehand. So all the guys who have been going short, okay, have been squashed out in this zone and made to go long. Now the market maker allows those retail traders to see a benefit of going long because he needs to encourage them to get into the trade. At the same token, there are also traders who are holding shorts and they keep moving their liquidation point higher and higher and higher. And the market maker justifies this, takes them out by means of wicks. See this wick up here, spikes up and pulls back down. All right, look at this area here, spike up, down, up, down, up, down. He's hitting people's liquidation points because he takes that liquidity and he feeds the shorts that he needs to send price higher. Okay. So by the token of him sending price higher, he's getting shorts filled at the highest possible point. The retail trader is stepping in and going long and he's repeating the liquidation points again. So he sets a liquidation point down here, down here, down here, even down here, up here. And then the market maker then sees all these liquidation points and says, okay, I want to start offloading my shorts. So then what he does is he triggers them, pulls price back up, makes the retail trader believe that it's just buying the dip, sends it up, spikes the high, pulls it straight back, and then continues to drop by taking the liquidation that has been set by the retail trader who believed price was going to continue higher. See, the problem with liquidation points is this. New traders don't know when to close. They can't take a loss. All right? They don't pay themselves or they don't minimize a loss. They hold the trade because they may enter in the trade in the morning and say, I want to be out by the time I've earned myself $50, $60. Okay? That little scalp or that little short-term day trade ends up being a position trade, which they will start adding to, and then they become a holder because they want to see if Bitcoin's going to keep rising. All right? Which is what I recommend to new traders that come into trading. Establish what kind of trader you are. If you're a scalper, you scalp. You're only going to be trading at a certain point in the day. Okay? If you're a short-term day trader, so like swing trading, or if you're going to trade from 9 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, your trade should be open before 9 or at 9, and your trade should be closed before 5 or at 5 o'clock. Okay, see it as a little bit of a work day. Because if you don't have the structure, I mean, this is something that I'm starting to learn about with this YouTube. Got to have a schedule in place. And I guess getting the idea of a schedule in place installed in my mind is a little bit difficult, considering that in my time in Forex, I'll wake up at 3:30 in the morning when I hear an alert that tells me dollar yen has hit a 4-hour time frame zone. And I'm going to get up and I'm going to try and scalp that or trade it if I have to. So it's 24-hour market for me is a bit of a detriment to me because I've got the facility to trade at all times. And that's not a good thing. All right. So you need to try and, come away from the idea of thinking that you're going to miss out on anything, because I can promise you tomorrow there will be a market. Even though the market right now is showing price just completely tanking, okay, there will be a market. Now with this strategy, guys, you can't have a bias to a direction. Why? Because the information that you're making your decisions on is based on what is happening right now. All right? You need to establish what kind of trader you are. Because if you're a scalper, this is your time frame. The 1 minute time frame. This is where it can become chaotic. All right? This is where all your business is done on this time frame. Okay? Now, some guys I know that scalp, enter on the bounce from the 50 EMA, wait for price to expand away from the 50 EMA, they've done for the day. Finished. They'll put a big size down here, wait for it to hit a certain point, and then they'll close it, and they're done for the day. Okay? If you're a scalper, this is your haven, or even on the 5 minute time frame. Okay? This is what you're looking for. Okay? Now, let's start off with where we are right now in the chart to help us understand the market maker's intention. Fear across the board is very high, in my opinion. Okay? Bitcoin has now come down to key points in the chart. The Patreons today had a walkthrough with what was going on with price action today. We saw this move. The reason why we saw this move is because it was premeditated by the market makers in the Asian session. Okay? Because all we did was we took all the confluences and we put them all together and we made a decision. Because the trade can only do one of two things. It can either go in our favor or it doesn't. That's it. All right? The Asian session last night initiated a stop hunt rise. They hit the high. They triggered the retail trader to stepping long because there was commitment at price breaking above the 50 EMA and holding. However, what do you wait for? Confirmation. Price has now pulled back in the Asian session. Closes below the 50. The 13 EMA closes below the 50. Momentum is moving downwards. The UK session, all right? The UK session initiates a hold. So that told me, based on the way the Asian session behaved, that they were going to favor lower prices. Now, this is something that I'm going to discuss in the stream as part of the context of the hybrid strategy. Why are the sessions important? Okay. The sessions pretty much give you the story. Okay. They tell you exactly what, or they give you an inkling as to what is going to happen in the next session. Okay. But that is on the basis of what you see afterwards. Okay. Because hindsight is a funny thing. But all we have is hindsight. All we have is the past. Because in the morning, this morning at about 8:30, this is where we were. This is all we had. Okay? The Asian session last night initiated a stop hunt rise and hit the high. Now, the Asian session is the time where the market makers effectively set the range for the day. You could say that the Asian session is a subversion of the psychological high and the psychological low. All right? That's what this is. Now, open interest is pretty high. Perfect time to tank. Yep, there you go. Am I scared yet? Looks like his level 2 drop instead of a second leg W. This is all we have. Terminator, What do we know? All we can take, okay? And this is one thing we need to try and understand as well. Depending on what time frame you're looking at, it may look like a level 2 drop on the 15-minute time frame. It may look like a W formation on the 1 hourly. It may look like a W formation, bigger W formation on the 4 hourly. Variation on the theme. The idea is when you collate all that information together, okay, make the conviction, because it's easy for us to all say Bitcoin should be doing this, Bitcoin's going to do this. It doesn't mean nothing until we put the paper down. There's no point. We're procrastinating. All right? We have to put the paper down and stand with the conviction that we've got, because a lot of people are reluctant to place a trade. People believe that they need to risk a lot of money to open a trade. No, you don't. There's brokers out there that allow you to open a minimum trade of like $5, even $1. What you've got to try and get used to is get used to the idea of exercising entries and exits. Get used to opening and closing. All right? Then the next step is to try and see if you can realize a profit on that open and on that close. All right? Once you become used to that idea, confidence starts to come in. All right? Get whipping and whacking. Johnny Crypto, do we find the liquidity pools on the 1 hour, the 15, or both? Liquidity pools go from the 1 minute all the way down, all the way up to the monthly. Here, do you want to see something? All right. This might shake you up a little bit. All right. This might shake you up a little bit. So, we understand the concept of the vector candles, yeah? So we know that the green candles imply the market maker is building shorts at the highest possible point and then he drops price. Look at how the recovery of the vector candle over here to there, and that's on the 15-minute time frame. By the token of the vector candles on the monthly, right? Does the principle stand? Look at this. What does that imply? Could Bitcoin go down to 13K? I can't say it won't. But I can say maybe not. Could Bitcoin go down to 13K on the principle of the vectors? Because the principle of the vectors works very well. You see it day in and day out. Why wouldn't it work on that basis? Because what? Is it because Bitcoin's at 13K? Is that a figure that people can't fathom? Because if you can't fathom that, and you're not on the liking of Bitcoin being at 13K from 31, well, we're going to want to hope that something changes in the market drastically, because at the rate that these guys are going, by the principle of the vector candles, it looks like it may go down there. Now, I'm not trying to install fear in your eyes, guys. I'm trying to help you realize what game you're involved in. We are welcoming to price rising, but when it starts to drop, we don't really want to pay attention to it. Like, oh, just quickly turn back up Bitcoin, get back up, man. You know, we're all good taking advantage of vector candles reappearing and getting recovered on the 15-minute time frame, 5-minute and the 1 minute. But when we look at the monthly time frame, we're like, Bitcoin down to 13K. Some people will welcome it, some people won't. Now, I had this chart up not so long ago, and a lot of people were like, yo, Tino's talking about Bitcoin going to 13K. No, I'm telling you that there is a chance, based on the principle of the vector candles, that Bitcoin could go to 13K. However, it all depends on what is going to happen from now until then. Bitcoin can come down to the 25 weighted moving average on the monthly time frame, okay, and bounce away from it. Okay? It could come back down to the 50 and bounce away from it. But what I'm trying to say to you guys is you can't just simply accept the vector candles on the daily and the weekly and then not consider the same application on the higher time frames, because what do they say? The higher time frames are going to give you a more solid indication as to where price is going to go. Yeah? This is it. System hackers just hit the nail on the head. By principle of the actual vector candles, we would assume that price would come down and recover all of the green vectors. Okay? I'm not fussed about these vectors down here. Some might say, yeah, but what about this point down here? Well, if it gets down to that point, it's happy days for those who just bought Bitcoin at that price, because there's a good chance it could go back up again, but it could also go lower. But what I'm trying to say to you is be okay with it. You're traders. If you're holders, it's a different story. You have a decision to make. You either buy more at a lower price, okay, or you decide to do something with your portfolio. That's on you guys. But a trader doesn't need to worry about whether Bitcoin's at 100 grand or $1,000. It doesn't matter. He's a trader. He trades the rises and the falls. That's not his concern what the price is. The only time he's concerned about price is when there's a vector candle breaking through a whole number and a half number, because the psychology behind that number implies that there are people sat there with orders waiting to be filled, which he will be able to then take based on the market maker's method. He will know that momentum will enter at that point because people's orders are getting filled and market maker is there to achieve that. Yeah? Or we could flip the chart upside down. That would be much more warming as well. I could do that for you guys. No worries, Patrick, man. Seems like you're a new guy here. Welcome to the channel, bro. Thank you so much. But we're going to 30k and below. It doesn't matter. What are you? What are you? Are you a trader or you're a holder? Are you an investor? Because an investor or a holder will only really look at charts once a month. That, in my opinion, as a true holder, he will review his portfolio once a month, unless there is something catastrophic happening in the world where he will need to do something about his exposure. Okay? Now, what I'm trying to say is this. If by the principle of the vector candles does get fulfilled, all right, are you saying to me that all the guys that have been buying whilst price has been dropping, now I know there are companies out there buying Bitcoin up here, which is why I say to you, they too are retail traders. They too buy at the highs, all right? But it's how their order is built. That's the thing. You can't just come to the marketplace with $5 billion and say buy, and then $5 billion gets automatically filtered into the market. No, the market maker sees $5 billion and he sees thousands of mini transactions that he can profit from. So his algorithm fulfills that obligation and starts adding those orders and matching liquidity to it as it's rising. Okay? Now, this could be those whales realizing a profit. So at what point will they be happy with price to get to for them to start initiating interest? Well, at the same token, the market maker, he's building his longs all the way from up here by using the liquidity of the retail trader who ain't closing his longs. And the whales that are not closing positions. What, you don't think whales lose money? Of course they do. If anything, they've got more money and they can afford to lose money. So it's a win-win for the market maker. Yeah, if you are new here, guys, this channel is, I'm going to be talking about a hybrid strategy, which takes two schools of thought. Okay, I've been in trading for best part of 15 years. The past 11 years, I've been doing it pretty much full time in Forex. All right, Forex is where my heart is. That's where I learned my craft. I came into cryptocurrency, trading cryptocurrency, January the 21st of this year. I wanted to see, could I apply the basis of the market maker principle in Forex? Is it applicable in this game? If anything, it's more volatile and it just works a treat. And this channel is designed to help you guys understand what you're getting involved in. All right? Because this game is not for the faint-hearted. I will repeat that continuously on every stream that I go on. It's not a game for you to just simply think, quickly deposit a bit of money and see if you can turn it into 1,000 or 1,000,000. You got better odds at a casino. This game is all mindset. It's all psychological. Every move in the chart is psychological. There's nothing technical about it. Oh, okay. It is technical. Okay. When price goes up and down, that's as technical as it gets. Some people will beg to differ. Some people will challenge that notion. But I'm only presenting the business model that is being presented here. We are working within the business model of the market. I'm not challenging it. 95% of traders that lose are challenging it, which is why they make up 95% of the percentages of people that lose. Do you get it? So let's look at what Bitcoin's doing now. Bitcoin comes down to the lows. All right. Our attention needs to be paid to the sessions, because this is what I was originally going to be talking about. And then I'm going to, by the way, the structure of this stream is talk a little bit about what's happening to what's happened today and what may happen later. Okay. And then I'll consider some altcoins and then we'll finalize the stream. Okay. Who are those crypto hedge funds or banks? Okay, then. So, Joseph, listen. Every single exchange that's out there, all right, works off a central feed. Now, that central feed, you know, you have to pay to get access to it. And your job as an exchange is to grab orders, pass them through to the exchange, the central server, and the central server gives you the order back with liquidity. Okay. Now, this all happens in microseconds. All right. Now, this platform that I'm using is IC Markets MT4. If you want to get access to this, it's free of charge. The links are in the description. Head over to the Discord and you can download the indicators that come with it. All right. Because these indicators, you see the candlesticks and the moving averages. Okay. They are all available to you guys free of charge. But the key aspect to these indicators is understanding what they all mean. I've taken two strategies, PVSRA by Trader at Home, Steve Murray Market Maker method. I've infused them together and we call it the hybrid system. All right. And the reason we call it the hybrid system is because one focuses on time and the other one focuses on intention. All right. And this is my interpretation of it. So, here we go. The near-term projection for Bitcoin, all right? Right now, Bitcoin is trying to break above the 50 EMA, which is this blue line here, all right? It's trying to break above that point. Now, the 15-minute time frame itself, okay, the 50 EMA is actually the 1 hour 13 EMA. So, really, Bitcoin has got a lot of journey to go on, a big journey to go on for us to deem that it wants to continue to go back up. Granted, Bitcoin may come back up to test the 50 EMA and probably come back down again. All right. But as it stands, earlier on today, we saw that Bitcoin with this big pattern in play. All right. With this pattern, you can see a W formation. Now, this is a smaller pattern amongst the bigger picture. Now, can you see this big W formation? The last time Bitcoin was dropping, it came down to this area here. All right. Now, this is where Bitcoin came down, rose back up, came down again, formed a base, moved away from the zone and consolidated. And it's been consolidating ever since. Now, we've seen an influx of smaller patterns right here. And we've got another pattern right here. You do get that. You can have smaller W's, you can have bigger M's, smaller M's, you can have patterns within patterns within patterns. The patterns are easy to identify. Whether they succeed or not is a different story. But the bigger the pattern, the better validation you're going to have when it moves away from a certain zone. Now, this is what we need to try and focus on. Bitcoin right now, this is the bigger pattern and price has been dropping ever so slightly. It's not a crash, guys. That's one thing for sure. This is not a crash. People are just telling you it's a crash. Which is why I'm asking, are you scared yet? Are you actually scared that Bitcoin's going to keep dropping lower? I'm basing it on the average crypto enthusiast who's invested in cryptocurrency. All right? Are you scared yet? Because at the point that you are scared, it's probably going to change direction. Why? Because the market maker has initiated fear across the board, which is why you're seeing price dropping. When price drops, it means the market maker is stepping in to open orders to the downside and get his longs filled so that he can close them at a higher point later on. Do we get that? Whole of YouTube and Twitter are... Am I like the only guy that's standing in the cemetery that's like, hey, you know, anybody here? And not scared? You know, like, what's going on? Lost your password to my wallet. Can't sell. Ah, that's unfortunate. Embrace the moon boy. Question. Okay, then. So... It took me 6 years to understand just the PVSRA method. Okay. I traded dollar yen by applying this strategy by itself. I'd say all in about 11 years. 11 years been trading. What's to be scared of? Price movement in either direction is good for traders. At last. There we go. I think all the guys who've been with me for a while, they've been accepting that price. You know, they're not scared of price. They're not scared of what's going on because we understand the business model. That's why. Just because we understand the business model doesn't mean that we know exactly where price is going to go. All we're doing is we're just waiting for the point and we know what to expect when the market maker is going to turn. See, this is what you need to try and get in your minds. Okay. Look at the key turning points on every single chart. All right. So look at the turning points on the chart of Bitcoin. So look at this point right here. Okay. Drop down the time frame. So drop to the 15-minute time frame. What are you going to see? As it's making its highs. Okay. Look at that. As it makes a high, notable volume comes in. It pulls away. Yeah. Let's look at another high. Notable volume at the highs. Volume at the highs. Volume at the highs. It drops. Let's find another point. Notable volume at the highs. It drops. Okay. Let's look again. Notable volume. Stopping volume. Notable volume at the highs. It drops. So by that token, what we are implying is when the market maker steps in at the highs and when price is rising, he's got the common interest to send price higher because everybody's favoring a move to the upside, which is the best time for him to flip the strategy and start opening his longs at lower prices and close shorts at the same time. So, if notable volume at the highs means it's going to change to go to the downside, notable volume at the lows should imply what? That price should come back up. Look at this red vector candle that came and pierced the lows but then snapped back straight away. Is this the point in the chart where the market maker is ready to start releasing the liquidity that he's trapped by sending price down lower so that he can come back up and recover this previous point? So by the token of the vector candles, this area here, which is the 35, where is it? The 32,500 point. All right. And the 32 zone itself, where is it? Right there. Okay. This is where there is notable interest. So if the market maker wants to retain his liquidity, or should I say the positions that he's built to the downside, if he wants to realize a profit on that, he needs to try and get as many people as he can committed to going short because people think price is going to continuously drop to the downside, and that is where he will reverse. Look at the vector candle. It appears at the lowest point. Surely by the token of a red candlestick across the board, when you see a big red candlestick piercing the lows, you think it's going to continue to go down. Well, no, that's not what happens here. It's used to induce traders to believe that, oh my God, price is going to drop. I need to catch this short. And the poor souls that went short here probably have liquidation points that they keep moving up to effectively get taken out by the market maker. Capish? Are we on the level? What's this? Been here about 2 months. Helped me almost 50 plus. My XRP. No worries, Altira. That's no problem. Turn the price off the chart. Yeah. If you can't get 100. What's this? You seem like a girl. Can't understand you. And I'm no dumb. I don't know how little girls talk, bro. I don't really listen to little girls. You can speak from experience, my friend. Happy days. Glad to have you here, my man. Why spread fear? No. It's not spreading fear. It's making you understand what business you're getting in. You need to understand when people are fearful, and you need to understand when people are greedy. This game is not for the faint-hearted, all right? It's not for the faint-hearted. If you're coming into the game of trading trying to realize an expectation of price, see you later, bruv. Go put your money into a charity. At least you feel good about it. Because I can promise you it's going to go into these guys' pockets. Or, I'd say 95% of the traders in this stream. You know? Is there some particular case? Sure, sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, okay? But this is something that everybody seems to be paying attention to. His question was, is there some particular case where we can know that some particular vector won't be recovered? So I'll flip it over to you. Why would you pay attention to the vector that looks like it may not be recovered? Why not focus on the vector that is likely to be recovered? That's where confluence comes in. Confluence is where you take all the information that is presented to you right now and make a decision. Because we can never guarantee what's going to happen next. And I'm okay with that. And my goal is to get that into your minds to be okay with. Because once you start being results-based orientated, you have an expectation. That means that you will be committed to your trade and you ain't going to close that trade until you realize a return. Well, let me ask you the question. How much of a bankroll have you got to sit through a drawdown to know when it's time to get out? Or how long can you be wrong for? Does your bank balance allow you to be wrong for a long time? The one thing the market maker can be that we can't is irrational. He can be in red for a hell of a long time. You know why? Because where there's previous liquidity that he may not have sent price back to, he will double up somewhere else. He will double up his position somewhere else. It's like this. There are traders out there that will open a short and open a long at the same time to try and catch the trend. If the short turns out to be one that is losing him money and the long is earning him money, if he was to simply close the short, he'd be breaking even if he were to close the long at the same time as well. But what he does is he holds the long and anticipates that he's caught the right move to the upside, and he will then add more positions to offset the loss that he's already accumulated with the short and hope that price will continue in his favor. It's no different to what the market maker does. He will load up at one point to offset the exposure that he's got elsewhere. So if he doesn't recover a vector candle now, at some point he may recover it, and if he doesn't recover it, it's because he's recovered the liquidity elsewhere. When you're simply trying to match vector candle to vector candle, granted, in hindsight, it always ends up coming back to it. We can see that. Look at last night's stream. The Patreons. I walked you through this move. You saw it play out in real time. Why was it that this green vector candle was going to get realized? Why was it that this was going to get realized? Why would we expect the range daily low to be realized? Because we understand. I've sat through these charts for a long time. I've seen these patterns play out over and over again. I'm obsessed with this. And I'm not going to shy away from saying so either. And I'm not saying that you have to be grotesquely obsessed in order to understand it. That's how I embraced it. This is my passion. This is my life. This is what I do. Now I'm a YouTuber. So I've had to park my trading to the side. I've been told I'm an entertainer. Are you not entertained? Yeah? I thought I'd put that fix in there for you, Mike. Yeah, no need to be grotesquely obsessed, but it helps. Look, this is how it works, okay? You know the concept of, you know, put the hard work in and it pays off. Yeah, we get that. But discipline, who said it? Tyson said it. And someone else said it before Tyson. Discipline is doing something that you don't like to do, but doing it over and over again until you achieve the desired result. But it does help if you want to learn. See, the problem that most traders have is they come into the game trying to make some money. And let's be honest, yeah, you're here because you want to try and understand something to help you make money. But listen to what I just said. You want to try and understand something to help you make money. So by that token, you need to understand it before you make money. So the idea is you need to focus not making money whilst trying to make money at the same time. Welcome to the hardest, easiest way to make money. It's a funny concept, isn't it? And you're telling me that this game is mainly technical? Hell no, man. Andre Sepak. So by that token, shut the and explain some shit. Andre, by that token, my friend, I bid you all farewell. Have a lovely evening. The stream, nah, forget it, man. It's true. Let's talk some stuff. But Andre, listen, I have to cater for the new people that are coming into the stream. Because new people are asking, what do you mean? What do you mean? So I have to welcome them into this game that we call trading. Don't worry. I'll get to the point in price. If you're listening, I would have given you the projections already. Bitcoin is now on its way to try and recover its previous move to the downside. If this move holds, Bitcoin will potentially come and test the pivot point. All right? The reason why I'm making that projection is because the 1 hour time frame is showing an extension away from the 50 EMA. Here's a bit of homework for you. Go and research mean reversion. It's probably the only mathematical thing that I will discuss in this game. Mean reversion. If you want to see it being put to the test, just look at the chart. Every time price deviates away from the norm, it comes back to the mean. Yeah? Deviates away, comes back. Deviates away, comes back. Why? Because every time it expands away from the moving average, people have a conviction about what price is doing. So everyone is shorting. It's dropping, it's dropping, it's dropping. Okay, Mr. Market Maker says, I need to bring it back into the fray so that I can reset my positions. He brings it back into the 50. It starts to stabilize. Traders then start watching the 50 EMA. They're waiting for it to expand away from it. Look at this area here where they keep spiking price up and down, up and down. This area here is the market maker exploiting all the retail traders, trying to find the direction of where price is going to go. Is it going to go short? Is it going to go long? Retail trader doesn't know. So then the market maker makes them realize, oh, there's a direction. Price is moving upwards. The 50 EMA is turning upwards. It expands away from it. Retail trader steps in because it's expanded away. Momentum's coming. Volatility is stepped in. And then what happens? They pull it straight back. So all that time, the retail trader's been waiting to move with price. He gets the move. It's a fast move, but it's a false move. And then they set up the true intention. So with Bitcoin behaving the way it's been today, our next goal is to establish what this Asian session's going to do. Because the last Asian session initiated a sell-off. The UK followed through, and the New York session initiated a stop hunt rise, drop to the downside, spike the lows, trigger fear in the market, get everybody to go short, and they've just pulled price back up. Now, that's not to say that Bitcoin won't come back up to this point at the 50 EMA and then continue back down again. Welcome to this game, because that's what you have to accept. There's no one that's going to come into this game and say to you, guaranteed it's going to go to this point, which is why you see across YouTube a lot of people talk about Bitcoin getting to 100k, 200k, 300. You know, no one's going to pay attention to it until it happens. And then when it happens, they'll stand there freely and say, I told you it would get to 100k. That's a prediction, not a projection. Projection is taking information that you have right now, all right, and making an informed decision based on a number of confluences that come together. Those confluences are candlesticks, moving averages, RSIs, volume, tick volume, price, whole numbers and half numbers. Notice how they move price below the 32k mark. They get their orders below these zones in order to get liquidity so they can smash straight through them back up again. How long will they break away from the 32k? We won't know. All we have is what we have right now. Bitcoin is trying to come back up to the 50 EMA. The 13 EMA, this red line here, is now below price. That's a good sign. But we want to see, ideally, for a continuation back up to the upside to recover this point up here, we want to see Bitcoin at least come above the 50, and at the same token, we want to see the 13 EMA cross above the 50 EMA. That's just a general overview and an indication that the trend is changing direction. It doesn't mean it's there, get ready for a signal to step in, because that's what I won't do. I will never give you guys a signal, but I will give you enough information for you to make the decision for yourself, because I may stop streaming YouTube tomorrow and you would have only got one signal for me. And then what happens? Nothing. If I tell you how to understand how to create your own signal, you'll be making your own signals for the rest of your life. Are you happy now, Andre? If I'm saying your name correctly. Dynamics, yes. By context, the W formation, this one right here, is valid. Why? Because it did break down lower. In the same session, it came back up and recovered back within before the session close. Look, the candle here came back up, spiked up here. The next candle came in within the session close. So it's still a valid W formation. It's only if Bitcoin came down to this point here and then it closed in this zone right here, it wouldn't be deemed as a valid pattern because it would have been too far away from the previous consolidation zone right here. Yeah? So, I'm going to have a conversation about some altcoins now. Let's get the charts up. Okay then. So, let's get our chart up. Are we enjoying ourselves? That's the key thing. Are we enjoying ourselves? That's what I want to know. What do I think about biofinance? I don't know what biofinance is. Yeah, it's totally, yeah. See, a lot of people do think that trading is gambling. Of course it's gambling if you don't know what you're doing. It's no different to you betting on horses but there are professional bettors out there. They understand something. I'm dorkish. Of course you're enjoying yourself. Yeah, I'll have a look at BNB. All right then, let's have a conversation on TradingView. Actually, you know what? My f.lux is killing me right now. Oh, this is going to hurt my eyes. Here we go. There we go. It's done it nicely. Wow, that's doing damage to my eyes. Man, I've got to stop that. Okay, here we go. So, what's Bitcoin doing on here? Right, let's just wait for this to load up. Let me close some of these tabs that I've got open. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. And I definitely don't need that. Neither do I need that. What am I like on here? I'll close that. That's taking a bag of memory. All right then. So let's have a look at some coins. Actually, before we do that, let's just flip over to Ethereum 2 seconds. Look at Ethereum. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Ethereum technically is the best currency coin. It's the best one. It just trades ever so well. Because Bitcoin is the emotional coin. All right? If someone says something about it, people get all messed up. If anyone says anything about Ethereum, unless you're an Ethereum enthusiast, you know, it's maybe mirrored in the chart itself, but it doesn't respond very well to news as such, unless it's be detrimental. It trades very well. Look at the W formation. It didn't even take out the previous low. So it's like they're supporting Ethereum more than what they're supporting Bitcoin. All right? Looking at Ethereum right now, she is pretty close to the moving average of the 50 EMA, and the vector candle right here may appear to get recovered. This is a pool of liquidity. But the issue with liquidity pools is every time price gets in there, it tends to pull away from it. So we're going to wait and see if this 50 EMA is going to act as resistance. Is this the final point that the market makers decide, right, that's it, we're going to move price higher? Have we grabbed enough people at the level of fear to only make them get committed to lows and going short? Because we want to offset our longs. We want to release all the longs that we've been building in this zone so we can get a profit on it. Because if everyone is feeling scared, they're trying to sell. So they're going to try and get them back up again to start buying so they can also build their shorts again. It's a vicious cycle, guys. And this is exactly what it is. Right. Back to trading view. BNB. Let's talk about Binance coin. Binance is a very heavily manipulated coin. Wow, look at that. Binance is moving nicely. Let's have a look. Okay, so on this time frame itself, I've drawn these previous projections on Binance. So we were waiting for this previous pool of liquidity to be taken, and what it looks like right now is that Binance looks like it's going to try and come up and take maybe this zone up here. However, we've got the 800 EMA in sight right there, so that may be a problem. All right, this may be a false move. All right, but looking at the support that's coming from the coin itself, look at that big notable volume stepping in, tells me that they may want to start getting out of this zone. Okay, or they may be favoring keeping price just that little bit higher so they can get price lower again, so they can make another move to the upside. Remember, we're going into Friday tomorrow. Friday tends to be a little bit of a tricky day in the markets. They either make a run for profit or they just stabilize a pattern and wait for the weekend when most people are going to be trading, all right, and throw people about left, right, and center. Now, I've always said in this stream, I do not endorse anybody to trade the weekends because it's a low volume, high volatile place, okay? It doesn't trade the same as it does in the week. Why is it most of the big moves happen in the week? But also the big moves happen at the weekend because there's no volume. So when someone steps in with a big order, it influences price to make a big movement. Don't get caught up in that. Make your money on the busiest days of the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right. The reason we don't trade Monday. Now, remember, I'm taking concepts from Forex. I don't open any trades on a Monday. Depending on what I've been doing previously. If I've been building a position for a while, naturally I'm going to be in a trade on a Monday. But I don't actually get up and try and trade on a Monday. Monday is the day that they do the false move. Monday tells me what they're planning on doing for the rest of the week. Okay? So that's BNB right now coming out of this zone. She's holding very well. Now you can see there's a lot of patterns that we could draw on here. There's the bigger pattern which you can see, which is the W formation right there. You've also got this as a pattern as well. Look, you've got this little area here. Yeah? Variation on the theme. I mean, that's a bit of an extended W, but you've also got now here, you've got yourself an inverted head and shoulders. Look at that. So let me move this. Look at what you've got here. 1, 2, and 3. That's a mini inverted head and shoulders, which is what? A variation of a W. That's all it is. By principle of the W formation, price is now shifting out of the zone. Shifting out of the zone implies that the market maker wants to try and get out of the zone. He wants to try and get all the money he's trapped here and realize a return for it to the upside. With Binance right now, it needs to try and break above the 800 EMA. If it releases that point and breaks that liquidity area, then happy days. But look what it's done. It's recovered the red vector candle. Yeah? Building their shorts at the highest possible point, triggering the guys to go long, get their shorts filled at the highest point, offload those shorts, take profit on those shorts, build longs at the same time, realize a return on the longs. It's a horrible game, but we love it. Okay then. Next coin. Let's have a look at cake. We all like a bit of cake. Okay, so cake is actually sticking to a pattern. W formation, rise level 1, drop. Rise level 2, drop. Rise potential. Is it looking to rise up? It's got a recovery of a vector candle right here. Is it on its way? And we've got ourselves what? Yet another small pattern. Remember, the smaller the pattern, the less chance the actual move away from it is going to last long. So this move back up with cake may come back up and recover this previous vector candle, and it may stabilize and pull back. But it's a small pattern anyway. But at that same token, they could just continue to go back up. We won't know. All we have is what we can see right now. If we decide that the confluences are favorable in our hand, let's take a trade and we make a decision. And then, whilst your trade is live, you have then the next decision. How long will you stay in your trade that's going against you? How long do you want to be paying to be wrong? That's what we need to work out. Chris, no worries, my friend. Thank you very much. Ravencoin. Let's have a look now. Ravencoin. I remember I joined a Ravencoin group ages ago, and these guys are advocates that Ravencoin's going to get to $5. They are mad for it. You say that Ravencoins are going to be anything less than $5, they're going to go crazy at you. But looking at Ravencoin, what you will find is all the altcoins are pretty much going to be behaving the same way. Okay? Ravencoin is showing a pattern, a very rigid pattern, but it's a controlled movement. Guys, don't you see the same pattern is appearing everywhere? Okay? If the general consensus about cryptocurrency is negative, why on earth are coins not going down? Why are they stabilizing? Why are they just stuck in this crazy range? All right? The reason why Bitcoin goes down and up and down all the time and takes out certain points is because, granted, 9 times out of 10, it's going to come back up into that zone. That's why I'm saying it's a fashionable coin. You either love it or you hate it. Yeah? Ravencoin right now forming on the bigger picture a W formation potentially. It's a very wide W formation. Very wide. By that principle, it's very wide. It all depends on the time frame that you're trading, my friend. I mean, there are pools of liquidity right here that you can see with Ravencoin. You can see the red vector candles. Many pools of liquidity, which will give you a projection of ideally where price needs to get to. But before it can get to any of these points up here, it will need to break out from the 0.0555979 zone. Okay, based on what we understand about these pivot points right here, the M2 pivot point appears to show support. Look at the green vector candle, completely gets recovered down to the T and then moves away from it. We do have this area right here, so will we see that point? All right. Now, okay, so if you're based in the UK or anywhere in Europe, okay, when you go and open an account with IC Markets, okay, IC Markets, in my opinion, is the best platform. I've been using it for the best part of 7 years. That's, you know, a long time. But I've been using MT4 for 15 years. All right, so that's what I know. Now, if you're in the US and you're going to be trading crypto, it's going to be a little bit of a difficult one. All right, because there's certain classifications you need to fulfill before you can be allowed to trade crypto. If you're going to do Forex, you've got all sorts of companies in the US that do cater for US residents. You've got Onanda, I can't even say it. You've got Forex.com, IG Index. Those are companies that you can Google. Check them out. They're all regulated companies. But be mindful of the companies that are not regulated that allow US residents to trade. be careful of those companies. All right? They stick to the legislation of the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 74, which means that you can't withdraw into a different wallet that you originally deposited with. Okay? You got to use the same card. That's about as much legislation that they've got. Everything else, you know, you could put £1,000 in an unregulated broker's account, and when you want to withdraw, say you make 500,000 and you want to withdraw it, technically he's not obliged to give you that money because there's nothing protecting you. So you got to be careful with those guys, man. It has happened to people. Okay then, next candle. You can't live anymore without MT4. No worries, John. Take it easy, bro. Take it easy. God, give me a couple of more coins that you want to see, guys. And then we're going to end the stream. Let's have a look at ADA, yeah. Let's have a look at ADA Cardano. ADA's forming a nice pattern right now. See, here's a little trick, guys. Here's something to be mindful of. And here is, I might send you on a little bit of a maze here. Okay. But search for the coins. Okay, not the top performing ones, not just those, okay? But search for the coins that are basing when everything else is going crazy. Look at Ada, all right? She's actually forming what we understand to be a beautiful W formation. That is clear cut as day. The criteria is there, all right? You've got vectors 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vector candles to the downside. The best part about these vector candles is this vector candle right here is a violet candle, which means that volume is starting to rise. All right. Look at this candle. It means it's at its maximum point for that candle. Or should I say it's at a very high point in the tick volume basis. Because tick volume means how often price exchanges hands. And that's what you want. If you see big red vector candles to the lows, it means that they were favoring lower prices because they wanted to get the absolute maximum amount of longs at the lowest possible point. Then the candles that precede that, okay, if there are no vector candles after that, it could imply that things are starting to slow down and they're going to look to reverse back up. And that's exactly what happened here. Okay. Look at what happened here. Notable volume steps in, but it's not appearing at the lows. It's appearing higher than the previous low, and then you get 2 pins to the low, price pulls away from it. So what we see right now is price is still above the 2 peaks of the pattern. ADA seems to be performing technically well until otherwise. All right. One lost soul. Okay then. Now, try and find coins that are basing, you know, showing a pattern or showing a very tight consolidation. Because you've got to ask yourself, hold on a second, if Bitcoin's dropping, everything else is dropping, your ADA's basing, that means there's support in that coin. Right? If you go and look at a coin that's just rising continuously, what's making it rise? That's another coin to be paying attention to. But you've also got to remember when a coin is rising up so much in times of chaos, at some point it's going to come back down. So that little quest for that coin may be short-lived. Can you exploit it? Of course you can. Just get ready to load your shorts. All right? Let's have a look at Luna, my guy. Oh, Luna's been doing okay. It also helps if you look at coins that are, you know, have got a decent price. I say anything above $5. Yeah. There may be coins out there that are performing better and they're less than 1 cent. All right. But experience would say that when you're dealing with coins that are, you know, expensive, they've got backing. Okay. So Luna's been showing pretty interesting behavior, but it's coming down from a pattern 3 hits to the high. What do we understand that to be? M formation. See if we can establish levels. Here we go. Watch this. Here is a cycle, guys. W formation. Rise level 1. Drop. Rise level 2. Drop. Rise level 3. Peak formation. M pattern. Drop. Rise level 1. Drop. Level 2. Drop level 3. We're waiting for level 3 to be finalized. Why? Because the level 2, the drop to level 2 right here has paused. Look. The drop to level 2 has paused. It hasn't continued yet. So we're still waiting for the confirmed level 3 drop, which will then take us into a pattern and back up. You look at the previous vector candles themselves. You've got a pool of liquidity right here. And you've got one small one right here. That's where we could effectively end up with Luna. All right. Edward, let's have a look at Bow then. Oh, where's that? What is that? What is Bow? Oh my god, where is it? What's the best place to find it? FTX, Uniswap, which one should I select? What's the best place for me to look at? I'm just going to pull up a random one. Here we go. What a coin. Wow. There you go. Vector candle principle. Look at this. Vector candle recovery right there. Where's price? Happy days. Look what it does. Pulls straight back. Maybe forming a support at the 50 EMA. Okay. Yeah. Seems like a big... Yeah, I like that. I might even check that out. XRP. XRP, look, here you go, another story of XRP, look. Look at Luna, look at XRP, same story, okay? Holding. It's a small pattern, but it's holding. Bitcoin, on the other hand, what's it doing? Still stabilizing there, okay? But it's holding. Projection points of XRP, well, she's got a lot of work to get to yet before we can say anything else. She's got to break above the 50 EMA. That's where we're at with XRP. Got a pool of liquidity up here at 65, but she's got a little while yet. Axis, let's have a look. Ah, shit. Ah, Axis was pulling back now. Look at that. Look at that for a monster run. See? Nice. $23. I like that. Now, obviously, something is happening with this coin. There's news driven. But we are going to be expecting it to come back down to the 200 EMA. I am expecting that because they've broken the 50. That's what's important. Once they break the 50, that is where things may start to change. And what happens at the highs? The thing is, this is actually making new highs every day. I believe it's making new highs. But it's making new highs every day. And what happens at the highs when they want to change the direction? Notable volume appears. Yeah? They may make one last attempt to the high, come back up, form a base, and then come down. That's what may happen right now. Strong USDT. Tether coin. Okay, so Strong itself. Wow. Wow. Pretty decent coin there. Okay then, so it's coming into a high. It came up to here. Came down. See, this is the issue with Qcoin. Low liquidity, and you can tell that from the wicks. Look how wicky it is. Up, down, up, down, up, down. No clear direction. That's why most of the coins that I look at, I aim for them to be on Binance because I guess that's the biggest liquidity there. All right. But looking at this, it does look like it's forming. well, there's two instances to this. You can either see it as an M formation. So we zoom out. It can either be an M formation, peak right there. It can be an inverted head and shoulders. But the principle is, as long as it doesn't take out this previous point right here, we only anticipate it to continue to go down lower. Look at all the vector candles right there, man. My days. That is crazy. They are manipulating it clean there, man. They're getting orders filled at that point. ICP. I'm going to do a couple of more, guys, and I'm going to end the stream. ICP just seems like it's just dropping down, man. It had its run. There you go. Little M formation right there. Drop. Just keeps tanking down. It's got a recovery of the vector candle down here. So we're going to wait and see if that point does actually get recovered. Because it is a point of interest in the chart. All right. Takes us down to $30. Okay, then. Bake. Let's have a look at bake. We all like a bit of bake, don't we? Oh my days. Bake. Oh my days. What's going on with bake? Now, bake is actually showing some interesting behavior. Pay attention. 1. We go with the lowest peak. 2. Then 3. All right. Always look for 3. Because this is overtaken by price breaking below it. This is overtaken by price coming below it again. This overtaken by price coming below it. You want to aim for the lowest peaks to determine a base of support. Because when price does break down below those points, you'll know where you stand. Rune is crashing. Please explain. Wow, Rune is crashing. That's not a crash. If Rune drops all the way down to $1 in this session, it's a crash. It's now taken out a previous low, but if we look back, let's have a look at where she's going, though. That's what's important. Where's she going to? Ah, she ain't going nowhere, man. Look, the start of a new hour candle. Watch this. Start of a new hour candle in 3 minutes' time. If there is support in this next hour, okay, price will come back up. John, don't be terrified, my friend. Do not be terrified. It's okay. This is not a crash, my friend. Do not be terrified. If you are holding a position that you can't afford to hold, the onus is on you, my friend. But it's not a crash. All right? I'm going to sit here for the next 3 minutes so that you can understand what's going on with the hour candle. Oh, this is on the 4 hourly, sorry. Yeah, so 2 minutes. By the token of the market maker, notable volume appearing at the lows. The next candle should see price coming back up because they're not going lower on the vector. So you could see it actually getting a little bit busy right now. So I'm just demonstrating the vector candle principle. The next candle should open and bring price back up. We may push it down a little bit more just before the hour finalizes. We're going to have, what time is it? So, 2 minutes until Tokyo opens. So this is when the evening starts. And that is when I will bid you farewell. Because I've got to be up early tomorrow, man. I've got my mini market maker I've got to tend to. And she's going to rock the show tomorrow. They had a breach for 14k ether. What's that? It was six weeks ago. Wow. No worries, Naz. That's awesome. Here we go. Here we go. 1 minute. By token of the market maker. Fitting, isn't it? Token. You know? Here we go. Here we go. Look how it's getting busy just before the next hour candle starts. You'll see this. That's a little tip. Always pay attention to the final moments of an hour candle. That's where the momentum of a new hour candle steps in. We're going to see a new 1 hour candle form in 17 seconds. the principle is that if the market maker is finished with this zone, it should come back up. But if there is any information about what's happened with these guys, they may continue lower. But on the basis that there isn't any information as such, and that's not influencing the price, here we go. Are they finished with this point? See, look how busy it gets. The first few minutes. Ideally aim for the first 3 minutes and you'll know where you're going. Because they'll try and spike up or they'll spike down first, try and recover this wick. If they're finished with this zone. How can we exploit that? It's evident. Just understanding the market maker. Because look how many times. 1, 2, 3 pushes to the low. Don't count that really as a push. Okay? But 1, 2, 3 pushes to the low. Market maker does things in threes. Recovery. That's what may happen right now. You're seeing the vector candle recovery principle happening. How long it will recover for is different. But ideally you want to aim for a 50% recovery before it may change to continue back in its desired direction, or a complete full recovery. Here we go. Look at that. Pushing up. Pushing up. By that token, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bid you farewell. If you are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Make sure you join the Discord as well. Alright, we've got a good community in there. If you want more, come to the community in the Patreon as well. Alright, we've got a good family over there and we just talk about charts in real time. Look at that. Look at that. 50% on its way. Recovery of the red vector candle principle. That's where it is. Now, scalpers can exploit this. Alright. Blue candle means volume is starting to rise. Alright. Cool. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. Thank you to anyone that's become a member. Have a lovely night, guys. Take care. And I'll speak to you tomorrow. Peace.